If you ever sat in a meeting sweating through your shirt, you lost the word you were reaching for, or basically stared at a screen knowing you slept only just for 3 hours, and then smiled and acted like everything was fine, this video is for you. A quick word on why I care about this. I went through my menopause while I was working full-time, taking care of my son. I was already divorced, no roadmap, very, very little support, and a lot of pretending that I was okay. And I know what it costs to stay silent. And I know most women aren't staying quiet because nothing's wrong. They're staying quiet because speaking up feels scary and it feels a little risky. And risky not because you don't want to be seen as older or emotional or less capable. So you just kind of just push through, you ignore what you're feeling, you smile, grin and bear it. And the symptoms quietly turn into even more missed sleep, definitely more missed words, and sometimes a whole lot of missed opportunities. And that silence is not our fault particularly, but it doesn't have to stay normal. So let's fix the part that we can actually control: what you say and how you say it. So if you remember just one thing from this video, make it this. I want us to lead with work impact, not the diagnosis. You are not required to explain your hormones, name a condition, or give anyone a symptom by symptom tour of your body. And trust me, I know right now there are a lot of symptom by symptoms that you don't want to talk about. You just want to just get through it. And all that's private. And what you talk about is the part that touches the job and what would help you keep doing strong work, showing up every day, being capable, and basically staying employed. So instead of I'm going through menopause and this is god awful, your move should be there's a health change affecting my sleep and my focus on some days. And here's what would help. Basically, you get the same honesty, but far more control. You stay the skilled, capable professional, and you don't end up a medical case. Okay, so keep the focus on impact and solution, and that one shift protects your privacy and makes you easier to support at the same time. So how do you talk to your manager? And do you even start with your manager, or do you start with HR? You start with your manager. The goal here is not a confession. It's basically like a heads up plus a clear small ask. And when you go to talk to your manager, you don't go into the office and say, hey, I'm sweating, I'm hot, I can't focus, because again, you don't want to sound like a big, huge medical issue. You want to flag something so it doesn't, catch you or the manager off guard. So you can say to your manager, I'm managing a health change right now, okay? And on some days it affects my sleep and concentration, but I'm fully committed to my work. And a couple of small adjustments would help me stay my best. Could we talk through something that could be workable? Now, when you say that, what do you notice? It names that something is going on without a diagnosis. It signals the commitment, okay, so they're not worried about your performance, and it ends with a request to problem solve together, not as a complaint, okay? Then you bring a specific ask, because support me is hard to act on, but a clear request is easy to say yes, okay? So name one concrete thing. You could say, a later start in the mornings after a rough night would make a real difference. Now, I don't know if they would be open to hearing this, because menopause in the workplace is new, and a lot of companies are just now starting to have more health and wellness in their companies. So you can bring it to your manager and say, if I could take a short break just to reset during the long mornings, and maybe, I can come back sharper. Or could we schedule my most focused work early in the day when I'm at my best? Now, when you're talking to HR, or if you rather talk to your HR if your manager is not the right person, that's good too. With HR, you're asking what already exists, and you get to ask about privacy up front. So when you go to your HR rep, you say something like, I'd like to understand what support options are available for a health-related issue that's affecting my work. I'm not raising a complaint. I'm trying to be proactive. So basically, could you just walk me through what's available and how confidential this conversation is going to be? Now, asking how confidential your conversation is with HR is not rude. It's actually very smart. It tells them that you basically expect discretion, and it gives you information before you decide how much you want to share. And you stay in the driver's seat pretty much the entire time you are working with HR. So, what to say in the moment? Now, this one is the hardest. The hot flash that arrives right when you're giving a freaking presentation. The word vanishes while everyone's basically looking at you, and you don't need a speech in those moments. You need one calm line and permission to move on. So if you forget a word, you can basically say, you know what, give me a second. I just need a quick breather, or I'm going to grab some water and I'll be right back. If a word disappears, you could possibly say, let me come back to that in a moment. Or I had it a second ago, but just give me a beat. That's it. No explaining, no apologizing for your body. A confident person pauses and continues, and so can you. The less you treat it like a medical emergency, the less everyone else will. So what do we do? What do we leave out? And just as important, what you say is also what you don't say. You don't owe anyone any of the following. So basically, your specific diagnosis or the word menopause, unless you choose to share it, a list of your full symptoms, details about your hormones, treatment, or what your doctor's telling you, and an apology for needing reasonable support. So just basically keep it to something is affecting my work. Here's the impact. Here's what would help. That's a complete professional request. Everything beyond that is yours to keep. So I want to leave you with this. Asking for support is not you becoming less capable. It's you protecting decades of skills, judgment, expertise, and your workplace would be absolutely foolish to lose you. Okay, so one foggy meeting does not erase who you are. Support is not special treatment. It's removing an unnecessary barrier so you can keep doing the strong professional work you've always done. You are allowed to take up space in this stage of your life fully and without apology. And if this helped, let me know down below in the comments. Save this video so it's there when you need it. And if you know a woman who's been quietly pushing through menopause while working, send this video her way. And should you never have to choose, you should never have to choose between your health and your reputation. So let's make sure you don't have to. And I'll see you in the next one.